Trust Trees Live. Okay, attention, attention. This content may include explicit material. Viewer discretion is advised. The intention is not to offend, but to provide information. Proceed only if you are comfortable with potentially sensitive topics, maybe a little bit of cursing. I feel it necessary to read a disclaimer because I am not a therapist. I am not attempting to portray a therapist. I'm just healing in real life, and you are coming along with me for the journey. Again, I am not a therapist, and I am not trying to be one. So, these are my opinions. These are my opinions. Travel light. Hello. Welcome back to the Trust Tree. I am your trustee, the NASHVINO. Again, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. I want y'all to give me some grace. I'm a little bit under the weather and very congested, so we'll try to get through this without me blowing my nose in a very obnoxious way, as you heard before I even popped on the screen. So I apologize for that, but I appreciate your patience in advance. I hope everybody had a great weekend and is off to a great start for the week. Today, we are going to be doing something a little bit special, but I want to talk about the suggestion that I made last week, which was about the book club. I want to read a different book every month. I know we're almost pretty much, well, we are more than halfway through this month. So let's say we'll do October and November for that book I mentioned, and we'll do Rabbit by Miss Pat. I thought about how we would even kind of have engagement around the book. It's not like all of you can come in and sit down and we have a discussion about it. But as you're reading the book, how about you, reach out to me with comments and questions and your thoughts. And then when we have these solo episodes, we could take some piece of that particular episode and we can kind of talk through the discussion points that I pick up throughout the month. And then we will have the discussion the following month. So we'll talk about the book in December. How about that? So if you could tell me if you think that's a good idea in the comments, you don't care, it's really stupid, whatever you feel. It's a trust tree. You can say what you want. And then we can go from there. While we're talking about engagement, I am making it a priority to actually respond to comments and things the day after the show. I mean, if I can't get to it during the show, that's what the plan is. So bear with me. I'm getting my life together. So today we're going back to what we touched on last month, I believe, which is it's not you, it's me. So let's just be the change that we want to see. Let's be the change we want to be. Let's not talk about shoulda, coulda, wouldas and all that kind of stuff. People in our lives that we need to break away from, we need to figure out how to do that. If it's yourself that you need to break away from, we're going to figure out how to do that as well. So just like it says, you're just divorcing yourself. Yes, that is a thing. It's definitely time. I mean, people always say, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. Just fucking do it. Just do it. So basically, that's what today's episode is going to be about. I wanted to go over some tools that I think it's kind of necessary depending on how you tackle things. So the most important is keeping an open mind. You have to let your healing lead you, and I'd say in a positive way. So, you have a goal, what you want to do, but you don't know what direction that goal is going to take you in. Just be fluid. Just roll with it and be patient with yourself in that regard. Subliminal hazmat suit, like it could potentially get dirty as hell. Like when we're climbing inside of ourselves, trying to discover things and learn new things and unlearn things and all of that, you have to roll up your sleeves and get something on you. So think about that. There could be a lot of writing involved. So, whatever kind of pen, like some people need a specific type of pen for their hand to be comfortable, figure that out for yourself. Notebooks, like lists, brain dumping, doodling, bullet journaling, however you sort your thoughts out and kind of get where you need to go. Like you need the supplies to be able to do that. I bought a couple of things just to show. I use this pretty much for brain dumping. Y'all need to be all up in my business like that. But some of the things that I wrote in here one time when I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but say Frank Costello was the boss of the Luciano family in 1957. Vito Genovese tried to kill him, and then Vincent Gigante attempted to kill him. I don't know. I don't know if I was watching something or what I was doing, but welcome to NASHVINO, What can I say? And then this is, in case you wanted to see, this says, be the windshield, not the bug. Super dope. I got this from Michael's, I believe. This right here is a happy planner affirmation journal. It's not dated. One thing that I always do around this time, actually, and then I believe it happens again sometimes, like maybe in like the spring, after 6-month and 18-month planners in, they usually have the stuff like fire sale type prices. I got this for $6, and this is usually about, I think, 24, 25, and it's not dated. So for those of us who are consistent with this kind of stuff for a long time, and then we might fall off or whatever, you won't feel like you lost money because it's not dated. So it's not like you used half of it and then the other half you got to throw it away or go through it and like change all the dates and that kind of stuff. It's not dated, so you can use it as you want. And I mean, it's pretty cool. It's got a page for the beginning of the week where you kind of like channel your focus, whether it's a month and then it's a week, and then there's daily pages. So you talk about what your goals are for that month. You could track stuff. It asks about books you're reading, shows you're watching. Funny thing, this is dated March 2024, and Miss Pat's book was on here. So NASHVINO needs to get her shit together also. I'm still reading that damn book. It asks about like power words. So this kind of gets you thinking and in that train of organization. So something like this, if you're the type of person that you're not able to organize your thoughts on your own, this kind of thing can definitely put you where you need to be. Things you need to take care of. Then it has you write a letter to yourself. That's great. Then you can dial down to the week. You got your priorities for the week, things that you're excited about. I mean, that's great. Ask you what you're listening to. And this also is a way to kind of document your journey, Excuse me. You might have those times when you're struggling with carrying on, and you might look back and see, okay, look how far I've come. Look at where I was at the beginning of the year. I mean, it's a great way to document your journey. So I'm not telling you what to buy. I just wanted to show you what I was doing. So these are some of the things that you could do to help you with this journey. So guided journal, affirmation book. If you're a planning person, you might want to get a planner. You could prioritize things, get a schedule together so you can carve out time to dedicate to yourself. Self-help books are always a thing if you're a reader. The Bible, can't go wrong with that. If you hate writing and you're not a paper person, then there's 792 apps that you can get. I'm not even going to go there with you. just go to your app store, whether you use Android or Apple or whatever, and just kind of sort through mindfulness, self-help, organization, all that kind of stuff. And then my favorite thing is Pinterest. I don't care what you do. Pinterest will help you organize your life. So you can search up a very generic topic, mindfulness, for instance, and then all kinds of stuff will come up, and then you can segment it however you need to. So those are just some ideas that you can use to kind of get you started. All right. So throughout this, I want you all to understand that there's no judgment coming from me. So if I have a tone, it's not that I have a tone with you. I have a tone with myself. Because again, this is my journey through healing, and I'm inviting you along, and hopefully you are doing the work yourself. So again, no judgment for me, because we all got to do. All right. I'm all about growth and development, literally. After an ex read my journal, crazy as fuck, I started doing videos. You know what, cousin? I was watching something, and the girl made a comment about how she stopped journaling because she used to journal like she was always thinking in the back of her mind, like, what if somebody reads this one day? And then when she stopped doing that, where she just started expressing herself, and she said she felt better about the situation. So I get it. That's a little crazy, but yeah, I don't know about the video. Maybe I should try that. I've never tried that. Keep an open mind. That's a good.
Why would somebody want to read somebody's journal?
People be nosy as hell.
That's shit that you don't want. That's like a bucket of worms you don't even want to stick your hand in.
Yeah,
for real.
I agree.
And it's not for prying eyes.
It's not.
It's not for prying eyes.
And I feel like everything in there will be taken out of context.
Well, of course it would. I mean, it would absolutely be taken out of context, and a person would probably think that every goddamn piece of ink in it is about them.
Yeah.
So stay away from people's shit.
Please. So before we get started, I just want everybody to understand, we are enough, right? We're all we need to start this journey. You, me, us, that's all we need. Just fucking begin. Just start. And we're all working on different things. So I feel like all of this stuff would apply to, whatever your situation might be. So a lot of this stuff I kind of collected over the past couple of months. And like I just, kept it down as talking points. Like I knew at some point I'd want to do something with all these things. And when I was kind of sitting thinking about putting this together, it just kind of all fell in place. So a lot of this stuff is really just me thinking through shit I found interesting, and it kind of just put itself together. So I want to start off by saying we need to start doing things scared. Let's move in fear. Fuck waiting around. Because there's nothing but freedom and space on the other side of fear. If we waited until we weren't scared anymore, there would not be a trust tree. There probably wouldn't even be an unwrap. Like we just do it. Whatever that is. Like I can't tell you what it is that you're scared to move on. But seriously, like take the time to sit and really think about, if I do this, am I gonna die? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, scared is scared, but we need to learn how to move in fear, because learning to move in fear helps with your emotional agility, in my opinion. If I'm overcoming my fear by doing things in spite of it, I'm preparing myself for man-made discouragement. So if I've already fought through it, what's the worst that could happen? You trying to piss on my dreams is not gonna matter. I've already done that to myself and moved past it. So think about that. Wavering in my purpose because I'm alone in my purpose, that's another thing. But it's my purpose. So I can't expect that everybody's gonna understand what it is that I'm trying to do. And sometimes it's just not everybody's business to tell them what it is that you're trying to do. We'll talk about that a little bit further down the line, also in sort of like a different regard. But seriously, like we have to learn how to like potentially sit in our journey alone, you know, because it's our fight. It's yourself. You are the one that has to make yourself happy. You are the one that has to figure out what's inside of you that's making you unhappy. There's a lot of work that needs to be done internally, and other people just aren't privy to it. If every time you made a little bit of progress on something you wanted to share with everybody that looked at you, like, you know how much time you would take away from the actual work itself just by throwing his pep rally? Like, no.
I don't think it's a pep rally. I think, like, I think you're right. Number one, I think you're 100% right. But it's hard sometimes within a person going through this journey for themselves because we've all go through journeys with people, you know, and in all these different types of relationships. And sometimes that affirmation from other people, especially people that we're close with, helps along with that journey. Even though you know you're sitting in it by yourself, there's a part that of you that wants and kind of I think needs that affirmation
Uh,
from the people that you care about and love because just from my own experience going through this crazy transformation, you question a lot. Am I doing the right shit? Am I actually, you know, like it's almost like an imposter syndrome. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, yeah.
And it's like, oh, am I really changing, or is everybody fucking with me, or am I fucking with everybody, or you know what I mean? Like, so that affirmation from other people means something, but also too, you're 100% right. It's your journey, and you have to sit in that shit, and that's a difficult thing to do.
Yes. And if it comes along, right? Then great. Embrace it, accept it, have a discussion, whatever. But don't look for it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. If when we kind of sit around and we're like, "Oh, nobody's applauding me cuz I did stuff." You might just be there. Sorry everybody.
Yeah, those applauds need to come within self,
Oh yeah.
and that's another hard pill to swallow because when you're going through all of that, sometimes you don't actually see yourself making those progressions and making those big steps. Or sometimes those big steps aren't even that damn big, but to everybody else they're huge, and so you don't even give yourself the credit that is due for that step.
Right.
Or may not even know that step was that big. You know what I mean? Like when I quit drinking, it everybody was like, "Holy shit, you just quit just like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it wasn't. It really wasn't a fucking thing. It was all the other shit, though."
But the point is, you quit drinking.
Right.
You had to do the work.
Right.
You still have to do the work every day.
Right.
And at the end of the day, who gives a shit about everybody else?
Well,
Because it's your struggle.
Right. It's my struggle, my journey, my
But
shit.
what I shouldn't say, well, yeah, because what scares me about that potentially is we're on this road to fix whatever we're trying to fix, and that outside influence is very fickle.
Yeah.
So if you need that to keep you going, you got to start. You got to start. Just something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This definitely something else. Yeah. Not for me. Like it was. I don't see it as it being that big of a fucking step. It really wasn't like shit to me. Like in all honesty, it feels like it should have been, and that's what I struggle with. Like, damn, it shouldn't have been that goddamn easy, considering the amount of years I drank and the amount of fucking fuckery and shit, and the thought of like, well, wasn't I supposed to have like the shakes and cold sweats and all this other shit, and
I mean,
none of that transpired.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody is different, and I just kind of put it in a fucking box and put it in the back of my head, like, whatever, it's done. But other people see that and they go, "What the fuck? How in the fuck?" I didn't see it. My point is I didn't see it as a big step, and me understanding how big a step that was is another hard part because I don't see it like that. Even in my tone and even when I'm talking now, I don't see it like that. But I know, like, there's a part of me that knows that's huge.
Yeah.
Considering I drank since I was 13 up until way into my fucking late adulthood every day.
Yeah.
Blackout drunk. I didn't drink to fucking, be social. I drank to black the fuck out. But understanding that it was a huge step and applauding myself for it is really like what we're talking about here. And giving myself the grace and giving myself the understanding that, yo, you did that shit. Stop saying it was such a fucking small thing when it's really a big thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And that's part of it. Like figuring out if you struggle with, I don't know what the fuck you want to call that, praise for that, then that's something you got to unpack also. Like if it was me, I probably would journal about those feelings. And then when I have the space and I'm ready to, I'd probably go back and read it and then sit in that and see if that kind of makes, if at any point it kind of, what, maybe I'm doing that because of that, I don't know. So wavering in your purpose because you're alone in your purpose, but it's your purpose. You know what I mean? I prayed for what I prayed for. I cultivated the energy and led with the intention, and this was my return on that energy investment. It has nothing to do with anyone else in terms of my healing. So that is something that I think people need to learn, because there are people who are married, they have kids, you're in a long-term relationship, you have siblings and you're really close and all that kind of stuff. Like if you're comfortable with sharing everything, then that's fine. But like I think a big part of most of our journey through healing and correction is eliminating that people pleasing element is something that we all have to work on, and us putting everybody else before ourselves. And that is something that I think most people who struggle with that, it's like everything you just want to run and share instead of sitting in it, being with yourself. So I think that is something that I want to focus on specifically because, again, it's your purpose. It's your journey. You, you, you. Okay. Um, I want to talk about the end of the year versus the start of the new year. So we're about to be in November, right? Holiday season starting. We talked about this a little bit last week. There's all kinds of feelings and things, the year's closing out. We could be reflecting on things on a positive note. Some people are reflecting on things because whatever they had set out to do for 2024, the year's almost over and none of it's been accomplished, and life be lifing and all kind of stuff. And there's just all kinds of feelings involved, right? So when I was a young adult, New Year's resolutions was a thing. Like it was just a whole thing. But I don't really like that anymore. And I just don't. What are your takes on New Year's resolutions? Magic people behind the curtain in the room with me.
Well, I feel like most instances it's just a waste of time. I mean, it's false hope.
Oh, okay.
False hope. Because more than likely, if you got a resolution and 12 hits, it's normally you normally broke it by 12:05.
That's true. That's so true.
So, nah, I don't do that. I don't do that. I think it should nobody, honestly.
Well, I never really honestly gave before any resolutions any kind of thought. Like it was just like, okay, it's a new year. Whatever. I'm gonna do this. Whatever. Like I never really gave it thought. Now when I think of resolution, I don't think of a new year. I think of right now. Like I'm not gonna wait. My whole thing is why do we wait? Why do we wait to the end of the year to say I'm gonna do something or I'm not gonna do something? Why don't you make resolutions every week, every month, every day, every moment? Be in the moment and make those resolutions and make those things happen in the moment. Because we're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised shit. And so for me, like when thinking of the end of the year, I'm really thinking about the fucking shit I didn't do and I should have done.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the things that I need to take care of. I'm thinking about those kinds of things. I'm not thinking, oh, I'm going to start exercising beginning of the year, or I'm going to fucking do this or do that. No, I've learned over the last couple of years to be in this damn moment and do right now. Fuck waiting, because we're not promised anything. We're not promised a good day. We're not promised a bad day. We're not promised anything. And we have to really learn how to be in the moment. And there's no time like the present. So generally speaking, like my thoughts are like, well, what the fuck am I waiting for? You know what I mean? I'm definitely not going to wait for the end of the year.
Word. I I would like around the end of the year, like super close to the beginning of the year. It's always like an air of it's almost majestic, because there's so much optimism, and I think it's just everybody's energy just kind of out there, and it gets on you. But I feel a stirring right now, like that's where I am. It's like a shake up inside of me, and I was thinking about it, like I just like you said, why wait? And I know there's a lot of angst involved in the closer we get to the end of the year, we're thinking about the goals that we didn't smash.
But look at the good side of that. I don't mean to cut you off, but look, the greatest side about doing that shit and being in the moment and making that shit happen, when you think of the end of the year, that is some crazy shit to look forward to
Right.
in 2025. Or if you're, you know what I mean? Because I know, like now, because of the moves that were made here in 2024, what 2025 is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And understanding that, damn, imagine if we'd have waited. Oh, New Year's resolution, let's start the trust tree on the new year. Let's start it off then. You know what I mean? And what has happened from the moment of saying, fuck that, do it.
And that's where a lot of that energy in me has come from. Practice, move in fear. Do it. You got an idea? Act on it. Why not? You got the resources, you got the space, you got the time, just do it. Why sit there? Stop talking about it. Why are we talking about it? Let's do it. Like once you start to change your way of thinking, once you start to move a certain way, that's how you will perform. Like if everything else in your life is action, go, 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 the parts of your life that are stagnant, you will just want to shed them because it's not it doesn't make sense. The math ain't gonna math. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit just doesn't make sense. So I don't even like the term New Year's resolution anymore. I like now, because we're not even talking about the new year. We're just doing shit. Accountability walking points.
Listen, you said something very powerful just a second ago. You start moving fast and things get shaken off. And that includes people.
Oh, yes.
That includes people.
Yes, sir. We will get there.
Yeah.
We will get there. So, accountability walking points, because we are walking in our purpose. We are walking in the change that we are going to be. And we are holding ourselves accountable for everything we say. Just period. Don't even need to explain.
Can I interject one more last time?
Say it again.
Interject one more time.
You can interject as many times if you need to.
Okay, so I was talking to someone today, and we were talking about this very thing,
Uh-huh.
right? And this whole movement of moving forward, and people that aren't around you or shouldn't be around you, or when you start moving, things start happening, and within that, there could be a feeling of being overwhelmed and being maybe I got too much going on or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But with great things come great responsibility.
True.
And if you feel, this is something that I do, if you feel like you're doing too much, just know it's helping you to get where you need to be, because that next corner, all that stress of all of those things you were doing, that next corner that you hit, all of that, everything else that you work through is going to help you get past that next one.
Yeah.
So it's all purpose driven. It's all like, it all ties in together.
But you also too have to know when certain things that you're trying aren't working. Ain't nothing wrong with trying again. You know, a lot of times in life we just
do again. Don't try again. Just do again.
Do again. There you go. A lot of times in life we just spitballing ideas, watching for something to stick. You know, stuff that sticks, it sticks. Stuff that it don't. I mean, it is what it is. It's life.
But the key is you did it.
You did it, and you didn't stop, and you kept going. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. Keep going. That's the whole thing. So, accountability walking points, and sit in the potential for what's to come. Allow the space and time. Just be intentional and pray for discernment. Ask the universe, whatever your thing is. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these things need to be coming out of your body. Like, you need to walk, drink, eat, sleep, smoke, fuck in your potential. You know what I'm saying? Whatever this new direction is, that's what it is. Because if you're not believing what you're saying about yourself, then who else is? And neither will the universe. We talked about this one time before about how your brain doesn't know the difference between a whisper, you talking to yourself, and you talking to somebody else. It's hearing it either way, and it's translating all that into your state of mind. Like positivity, you know? Like, and I be saying be intentional. Like, say what you mean. And mean what you say. And be kind to yourself. Like, change is crazy. Like, it affects us in all kinds of different ways. Some people have been trying to get to the point to even say, I need help. I need to change. Something ain't right. They've been working on the words to say that for 17 years. You know what I'm saying? So be kind to yourself. Give yourself space. Don't stop, though. Just be kind and give yourself space. And, you know, be patient with yourself. Same thing. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. You know, it's an everyday thing. I keep saying walk in your purpose. Walk, because it's a moving thing. It's a part of you. It's coming with you everywhere you go. You're not just working on this shift when you at the crib. You know what I'm saying? When you go outside, it's the same thing. And that means several different things to several different people. You got people who need to work on their tempers and all kinds of things. That's got to come with you everywhere you go. There's the potential to tear down and unlearn whatever the hindrance is. But in order to figure that out, you've got to look at yourself. You've got to listen to yourself. When I'm in this mode and I don't want noise, you know, like, and I sometimes will even withdraw from people because I'm spending time listening to myself, listening to what's going on. You know, I'm doing things different, and I'm trying to see how that's coming out of me. I'm trying to see what it feels like in that space. You know, I'm just trying to, I'm trying to figure out everything as I'm moving. So sometimes a lot of outside noise, it doesn't necessarily help. That's what I meant by, they say don't front your moves. Like, it ain't everybody's business what you got going on, because sometimes you just get so much confusion and just opposition and discouragement and people projecting their insecurities on you. And again, the purpose was given to you. However it was given to you, it was given to you. It is not their responsibility to understand whatever that is. You could waste a lot of time trying to convince that person that, oh yeah, this is a good idea for me. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. Whatever. No, it's you. It's yours. It's you. You. I don't know if you people have noticed a theme or not. You. Sometimes we got to do things alone. In this season of my life, I'm asking for the strength to remove myself from whatever space doesn't qualify for my presence. I'm going to say that again. In this season of my life, I'm asking for the strength to remove myself from whatever space doesn't qualify for my presence. Right now, my entire existence is rejecting anything that wants me to show up as anything less than I am and want me to dim my light. So I'm not trying to sound like I'm saying I'm the shit and all that type of stuff, but I am the NASHVINO. I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? And it's a whole thing. And I don't want to be nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I worked hard to get here in this place. I worked hard for everything that I have. You know what I'm saying? And I don't need people around me that are on anything less. Like, I'm a very creative person. You know, I like being in creative spaces. I like people who, are into having great conversations and things of that nature. I want to build things. I want to make this a better place for my children to grow up, and so that when they get to have children, that they have something to work with. That's basically my whole thing. Like, in the space that I'm in right now, I'm around a lot of people on the hip hop scene, and that's a lot of creative energy. People have different 9 to 5. Some people actually are making careers out of, moving in the hip hop space. But either way, I am surrounding myself and aligning myself to people who are on journeys themselves. They're trying to heal from past traumas or addiction, whatever you want to call it, and they want more out of life. We are not 16 to 17 anymore. Who the fuck want to be around people who gossip all day, waste time? They ain't got shit to say positive. Everybody is talking about the next person. Or I can't stand when people talk about people, and these are people that they interact with on a daily basis, but they're not doing anything to influence them positively. Like, pull their coattail and tell them you think they stupid as fuck because they did X, Y, and Z. Don't just tell anybody else that's gonna listen to you. Because my thing is, if that person is doing whatever it is that they doing and you talk to them on some real shit and they still doing it, then maybe that person don't need to be in your life anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that is fucking you up. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, the people that I have in my circle now, that when we get around each other, that's not what we do. Like, we building on, like, we on ideas, on monumental things. Like, we have had 25-minute conversations that resulted in a in a podcast the next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing but action and movement around here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're all feeding off of each other, and that's what it is. Nothing more, nothing less.
Sometimes a person may, like, you may see somebody, right, talking about somebody, or maybe you've been involved, not you personally, but you've been involved in saying, man, that motherfucker right there. Sometimes that person may just need to hear it from you.
What you mean?
To double back on what you were talking about, like, about talking about somebody behind their back or doing whatever. Say what you say, whatever. If you're going to say it to their face, because a lot of times, like it or lump it, they're either going to get out of your life or they're going to make the necessary adjustment.
That's precisely what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, like, but sometimes we may not think we're the person to say that to them, but we may be the person that they actually listen to. Because a lot of people, when they do stuff, it ain't new to them that they have maneuvered and behaved or done things in that fashion, right? It wasn't new to me that I drank like a fucking lunatic and did shit. I heard it all my fucking life. It took a person to tell me something where I went, oh, fuck, and then took action.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? Sometimes it takes that person, because I've had, if not thousands of people tell me real shit that you need to quit drinking, but it went in one ear and out the other. Sometimes hearing it from someone close to you, they may not even have to be that close to you. They could be fucking somebody you just see all the time, and they go, you know what? You do poor business.
Yeah, and maybe you was in a different frequency that day, and you was able to receive it.
Shit.
Because you have to be able to receive the information. But
we know what we do as people.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like,
accountability.
True, but then what I meant was, don't waste my time talking to me about somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's somebody in your circle that is doing fuck shit, tell them. If you care that much till you came to me and told me, tell them. I ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on that. That's the point I was trying to make. Because people who I care about, people in my orbit, if it's something going on, we need to have a conversation. I want to have that conversation with that person directly. Now, the conversation with somebody else in the same circle might be how to do it. Because you do have to come at people where they are. That's important because sometimes that the message won't be received correctly.
I live black and white. So when my black and white is, some people need a business card, some people need a billboard. Meaning, you know what I mean? So some people can read it subtly and go, oh, okay. Other people need to hear, look, motherfucker, this is what it is.
Yeah.
The billboard.
You got to meet people where they are.
Right. Well, I don't have a middle area. It's either that or that. But we know who we're dealing with when we're talking to people. We know who we're dealing with. We know what we're dealing with. And especially if they're in our orbit, for sure. If they're just outside of our orbit, probably so. If they're a little further away, we still probably know.
Yeah.
Because they're close, they're within proximity. So, you know.
I think the difference is, do you care?
Right.
And that's up to you to decide.
Well, I mean, if you care, obviously you care because that person is in the proximity of you. You know what I mean? Unless you're in a club or some shit or whatever. I don't know. But in everyday life, if that person is always around or somewhere but not really deep into that circle of people.
Yeah.
You know, you should care. You know what I mean? You know what? Can we talk about that right quick? The caring part? Because I think that is like one of the most important parts that we don't talk about enough. Because just within my journey myself, I didn't realize how much I actually cared about people and cared about how they felt. And cared about how they felt about me or my actions.
Well, hold that thought. Because we will get there. Because that in itself is one of the things that we're talking about. Right. So this particular journey is not about anybody else but us. You know what I'm saying? I have some shit in there about the people that are in our orbit that we need to extend some grace to also, because you can't just wake up one day, hey, this is a new me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know.
Awesome, real shit. One of the hardest things about, listen, if anybody understands this, what she's saying about a journey and everything and waking up and like, look, this is new me, bitch. One of the hardest parts is when you are on this fucking journey, people have a tendency to, they don't recognize who they're talking to anymore. They don't see who they're seeing.
And they handle it in all kinds of different ways.
And they handle it in so many different ways. But as a person who's on their journey, the key to that shit is staying steadfast.
Focus on your focus.
Focus on yourself.
Focus on your focus.
Either they'll eventually see it or they'll eventually fade the fuck off, and that means that they don't deserve to be within that fucking circle.
We will talk about all of that shit. So because when we get there, your fucking skin's gonna melt off. Transferable energy and spirits. So I remember when I was, putting this together, I remember the law of transferable energy, and I was like, oh, I remember they said it can't be created or destroyed. So I looked it up just to make sure I wasn't tweaking, and yes, that's true. So according to the law of conservation of energy, energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred or transformed from one form to another. So when I was thinking about this, I'm thinking to myself, like, man, you know how sometimes you're in the right place at the right time, or you get inspiration from a weird place, or just it's just something strikes you in a weird way. You have random ideas. Like, I feel like all of that kind of it's in that same vein of things. Like, and I'm not going to pretend to know if this is true or not, but it's like, what if there's just like all this energy that somebody else didn't need because they're in a different space. They shed that energy, so it's just floating around looking for a host, and it's the kind of energy that you needed. and it found you, and that's how you get a random strike of inspiration or whatever, you know? Then I start thinking about how when you change the way you talk to yourself, you change the way you think, you stop having negative thoughts all the time. You switch to positive. You transform every negative thing to something positive, and before you know it, your brain doesn't even work the same anymore. You wake up in the morning and you are looking to, what's the next milestone I'm gonna hit? How can I make somebody else's day? What can I do? Let's check these boxes. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. You don't even remember how you used to be Debbie Downer, and you just kind of lean on a negative place. You surround yourself with like minds, because when you start to become more of a positive person, if you had other people with you, y'all was kind of like the negative crew. You don't got time for that, because that's not you anymore. You don't understand that. Your body can't translate any of that energy. I don't want none of that. I'm gonna be over here, like even mentorship. And I don't mean like you let somebody sun you all day. Like align yourself to, like, let's say you want to be a rapper and you are in proximity of some great ass rappers. Be with those great ass rappers. Learn them. Learn what they do. Ask questions. Absorb all that you can. If you want to be a chef in a Michelin star restaurant, find some Michelin star niggas, you know what I'm saying, and get with them. I don't know. You want to learn karate? Go hang around a karate school. I mean, hello, line that shit up. Push yourself. Self-explanatory. And in every facet of life, at every point where we all are, whether we're at the beginning or the end, or we sitting on the yacht, whether you want to admit it or not, we've all gotten there by faith. Straight up. You get up in the morning and you didn't bite a bullet. Hello. What are you going to do? Like, you got to cultivate positive thinking. Talk to yourself nice, for real. Stop looking to other people to make you feel good. That's great when somebody brings that to you, sure. But no, do it to yourself. Did you get that? See what I did there? Maybe that's what you need also. I'm just saying. Whatever. So all of that. Cultivate positive thinking. Talk to yourself nice in every sense of the word. Now to talk about the spirit side, because we talked about transferable energy and spirits. I liken this to, some people are hateful. There's just nothing but negativity. They play the victim all the time. They're envious. They don't have accountability. It's just he, she, them, they, just whatever. Stay away from them type of people. That shit is poisonous. It's poisonous. It flat out, it's poisonous. Like, think about constantly trying to pull somebody out of like the darkness, right? Like, no matter what, it's just, this sucks, that sucks, they did this, I should have did this, we could have did this, they didn't, why me, I ain't got this, and no matter what you say or do in the positive, they coming back with, and it's just like, before you know it, you're exhausted because you spent so much energy trying to pull them out. And that in that sense, trying is appropriate, because it's a waste of time. No, ma'am. I can't do anything else, and I simply don't want to. No is the complete motherfucking sentence. I feel like we all need to explore that. I have this thing where if I tell somebody no, I feel like I need to explain why it's no. And every now and then, an explanation will be required. You'll know when that's appropriate. But no, sometimes I need space for myself. I'm not going. No. I don't like seven people that are there. No, I'm not going. I don't need that energy. Every time we go over there, it's the same thing. Why would we go over there? It's the same outcome. No. If you need a no to preserve your energy and protect your peace and protect your space, then use that no. No's are free. They free as shit. Straight up. They are free.
And don't be afraid of the cost of that no.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then everything doesn't deserve a response. So I recently experienced this. I was sitting having a regular conversation, and somebody was like, "Oh yeah, the kids don't have school because it's Columbus Day," and I said, "No, it's Indigenous Peoples Day. Let's call it that, okay?" So they was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. My bad." So the other person involved in the conversation say, "You sound stupid. You don't even know what indigenous means," and like I blacked out for about 20 seconds, and I literally was just in my head like, everything I got right now, I want to give to this person, but there's a time and a place for everything. You know, all the things that I was thinking would have put me in that hateful spirit. I would have given back the energy that they was giving me. And some people are just hateful. They got a lot going on, and they just that's what they bring. They bring that shift to every room they come in.
Mama said, "Stupid is and stupid does."
And with this particular person, we've been getting this a lot lately, and we don't really know exactly what that's all about, but that's the reaction that they are trying to cultivate inside of other people.
Misery wants company.
Oh, it does. It does.
To this day.
It does. And I right.
That came out right. I'm this shit. That came out right though.
And I sat there and I didn't say anything, and I just acted like I didn't even hear it, and I just moved on. And I was proud of myself because I felt like if I would have gave what I wanted to give, it would have really, really ruined the vibe, and it would have been super inappropriate in that space. So I said all that to say everything does not deserve a response. Like as adults, we need to really just take a beat in a lot of situations, like act like an after school special. You know what I'm saying? Like use all that stuff you picked up along the way. You know what I'm saying? The things that you try to preach to the younger people or whoever you might be a role model to, for real. Cause it's true. It's true. I feel like I shrink myself when I give energy where it isn't deserved. I want to stay on my square because that's how I protect my universe, and the people in my orbit expect more from me. So that's how I choose to move in them type of situations, And who's to say every time that happens to me, I won't take the high road, but my intention is to move in that way every time somebody try to take me off my square. Showing up good and for the good and for the bad. I feel like in situations where we need to show up, intention is important, honesty is important, and communication is important, and it depends on, what the situation is and how we're showing up. But emotional intelligence plays just a huge part in showing up for people and showing up for ourselves, because emotional intelligence is the ability to manage both your own emotions and understand the emotions of the people around you. Like this is a major key, as DJ Khaled would say, for people who are, on a healing journey. Like you got to read the room, and like if you're not able to handle your own emotions and then you kind of react, you got knee-jerk reactions all the time. There's so much anger and all that kind of stuff. Like you're not really doing the people around you a service. You're certainly not doing a service to yourself. So, if you're a person that is struggling with handling and kind of sorting through your emotions, you might want to look up that and research that and do whatever you need to do. And of course, certainly if you ain't able to handle this on your own in any facet, actually get a therapist. Like seeking professional help is not illegal. So use it if you have those resources, like for sure. Like that's definitely something that I think you should do if you feel like you need it. I mean, at some point I'm definitely going to do that, but I just at this point choose to, go on this journey with the tools that I got. But then also emotional equity. So this is going back to what you were saying about if you care and all that kind of stuff. So it's from an emotional equity standpoint, all parties foster this investment. That investment is in your relationship. You nurture that relationship. You respect each other's differences. You accept each other for who they are, and that's it. Exclamation point. We grow together. We change together. We thrive together. And the people who you have emotional equity in and they have emotional equity in you, that's your universe, your orbit, your circle, and that's how you move. Those people you care about. Those people you give all the grace that you have. Those people you will let in on your journey. You know, they might say to you, "Hey, I noticed something different about you." You know what I'm saying? And you know, my sister-in-law had reached out to me one time and gave me a great compliment, noticing, you know, the changes in me and things like that. I received that from her because I respect her and I appreciate her seeing me. You know what I'm saying? Seeing and being seen is very, 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 very huge. And I want people to sit and think about those folks in your circle where there's true emotional equity. Because everybody else, they don't matter. They might still matter to you, but really, if you're investing time, energy, and emotion into people, and you're not getting that, there's no reciprocity. That person might have to sit to the side. You know what I'm saying? Like when we go to the house picnic in the summertime, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see you then, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But we not no. In the real world, in a real space where we moving and shaking and things of that nature, those people don't need to come with us because that's just extra. That's extra baggage.
Well, one of the things that, like, when I talked about that earlier, like not realizing that I actually care, was like like kind of an epiphany that I had was um, within even the circle of people that I know, and I never said shit like I care about you or you okay. Like and if I did say it, I didn't really feel like I had any meaning behind it.
You know I can't stand that shit.
Huh?
You know that's my new shit. I can't stand that.
But yeah. But within this journey that I'm on, like when I say something to someone, like I genuinely fucking mean it. And it's not like something that I had to click on in my head or anything. It was like when you go on this journey and you're like moving and shaking or whatever in the fuck, shaking hands, kissing babies, and really, really listening to people and processing things that they say to you and how they interact around you. You're very mindful about what you say.
Huh?
You know what I'm saying? And so like when I noticed that, like, I can't say when it was, but when I said something to someone a couple of years ago, and I was just like, "Yeah, man, well, take care of yourself and be safe." And it's like in my head, I was like, "Oh shit, I meant the fuck out of that." Like it's weird, you know what I'm saying? Like, for a person who just like was just moving around and even at times asking myself, especially after that, asking myself, well, how did motherfuckers even be around my ass? You know what I mean? Because if I didn't give that kind of energy, how were they even around me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because I can guarantee you that however I said it before didn't have the same connotation. It didn't have the same inflection. It didn't have the same meaning. You know what I mean? And my demeanor and behavior and everything else probably just spewed that shit.
And this is an example of exactly what I'm talking about. When the work is done, how things start to change around you. Just like he said, when he was the former version of him, he didn't care. But then when he started doing the work on himself and realizing that people and words have power, you kind of change. You don't say things you don't mean in any way because it's a waste of energy, it's a waste of time, and we not doing that. We not doing that. When you know better, you do better, and that's real. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what I was talking about. So, this episode, if you will, was kind of an introduction to some of the things that we're going to be tackling on the journey. So, what happened?
OT is in the building. Shout out to OT, my man.
Welcome.
Hit my line. Make sure you all right, bro. I ain't heard from you in a minute. He was one of the original people that was on Sunday sit down with the OGs, and then when we moved over into the check.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard from him in a minute. Hey, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Hit my line.
Look at that. Look at that.
Shout out to OT.
So these are some of the topics that we're going to be toying with, and we'll be revisiting lots of things that were mentioned. But seeing and being seen in a real way, value versus tolerance, seeking outside validation, the art of attachment, the peaceful surrender, healthy grieving, because whether you're breaking up with yourself or you're literally breaking up with somebody, whatever, that's a grieving process. Like, you're mourning former versions of yourself, former versions of your relationship, whatever, however that translates to you. So that's something that needs to be unpacked as well. And then exit strategies, like if you're leaving a long-term relationship, you got to figure out what that means. If you're leaving a version of yourself that existed for 20 years and now you got to move on to this reinvention, what's your exit strategy? How, where do I go from here? Like, all of this stuff needs to be figured out. You need a plan. There's a planning process. And then there's specific things that we all need that we have to figure out where these things fit in this journey. That's safety, responsibility, comfort, self-doubt, and effort. All of that stuff has to be a thing. And then the most important part of the entire healing process, boundaries.
Accountability.
Yes, that's a given.
The fuck it is.
I mean, I've said that 100 times.
No, that doesn't mean that people understand how important accountability is.
Who the motherfucking trustee up in here today? I just want to know.
I don't know.
Oh, I just want to know.
I'm saying.
Mute this nigga's mic, okay? Like I said, okay? Boundaries, okay? Because if we do not set clear boundaries, we will crawl the fuck back to where we just came from. It happens all the time. Of course, he's right. Accountability is, I mean, if you don't have accountability, click off this video. I mean, right, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, we just said we're not doing New Year's resolutions. We're doing accountability walking points, okay? I don't want to go back through all of this shit and say how many times I said accountability, because I ain't got the time, and I don't got my congestion. I told you. So, boundaries, okay? Boundaries. We will really, 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 really explore this, because habitual line steppers are real. But in the simplest form, I want to use this as an example. You telling somebody, I don't want to drink anymore. I'm not going to drink. Okay? No. And when you used to hang with this group of people, all y'all used to do was drink. Right? You have been walking in this purpose. If you did go to a party, you weren't drinking anything. You might have some water, club soda. You're not drinking alcohol, though. And then you say you know what? I'm just not comfortable being in spaces where there's alcohol right now, because it's too much for me. I'm not that far in my journey. So, I'm going to take a beat for me. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm strong enough, I'll resurface. You know what I'm saying? But I need this time for me. And then the next day, said person, hey, we going to woo, woo, woo. It's going to be lit. Not blah, blah, blah. Alcohol. They calling you again. Alcohol, alcohol, alcohol. And it's like, bro, I just said they didn't respect that boundary. There's thousands of other scenarios we can use. You said I need time for myself on Friday nights because I got a lot going on. I just need to be alone on Friday nights. Somebody keep calling you, asking you to babysit for them on Friday nights. Boundary. And if someone violates your boundaries, there should be clear and cut consequences. Because I said I'm on this journey for me. I need this for me. And I made that quite clear. And you are not respecting what I said I need for me. So then that lets me know that maybe I'm not a priority in your life. So guess what? Decisions need to be made. And I said in the beginning, there's no judgment coming from me. Don't take my tone like I'm judging you if you let people violate your boundaries, because maybe you just not there yet. But that's some stuff that you need to think about. Like, all of the stuff that we talked about today is valuable when trying to change, reinvent, and improve yourself. And our journeys all look different. You just need to figure out what that looks like for you. But again, I ain't judging you. I'm just saying, like, because I'm trying to, nope, I'm not trying. I'm protecting mine. You know, the progress that I've made, the changes that I've made, they're important to me. And the new version of myself that I'm building needs that. And that's what I'm trying to protect. I'm not trying to do anything. I am protecting it. So that's where I am with that. Boundaries are necessary, and there is no journey without accountability. So do with that what you want. So through this journey, we're going to break up with the outdated versions of us. We're going to reinvent us in a very healthy way. We're going to give us all the grace. We have no choice, because we're going to show up for us. All of the fuck shit that we put up with from other people, all the nonsense, all the excuses we make for other people, all the dead ass relationships that we keep trying to save on a daily basis. No. Fuck that and fuck them. Straight up. For real. Like, if you really seriously want to do work, if you really seriously want to work on yourself, if you really seriously want to change because there's a stirring inside of you, you feel like whatever is going on with you, whatever that is, I don't know you personally, so I cannot say specifically what your thing is. That's why I keep saying whatever, because I don't know. Whatever that is, you know what it is, and it's up to you to figure out whether or not you seriously want to do something about it. And if you do it. Don't wait till January 1st. Start now, because you're important. You should be important to you. All of the energy and time that we put into other people, our children, our spouses, our boyfriends, our girlfriends, our parents, our jobs, our hobbies, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I be looking at the newest celebrity situation and looking at all the comments that be in there. Motherfuckers be commenting on them situations like they know them, like they really, like they there, like it matters. Like when on Saturday they going to the tea party with whoever the celebrity is, and they gonna really talk to them about what's going on in their life. Take that same energy and fix your own shit. Cause I guarantee goddamn to you, Jay-Z and Beyonce ain't thinking about us right now. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I don't blame them. But we got to keep that same energy. We got to be real with ourselves, because when we're on a journey of healing ourselves, no one else matters, because we're healing ourselves. No one can save you but you. It's in you. You got to show up for you. You got to advocate for you. You got to take time for you. You got to study you. You got to be vocal about your shit. You got to tell people that are under that emotional equity umbrella, the ones that matter, I'm about to do work, and make sure you say it with your fucking chest. Be serious about what you saying. If you playing, then that's on you. But if you for real, I feel like it's necessary to let people know, because people say they want to do stuff all the time, and there's no action behind it. And I think it's received that way by a lot of people a lot of times, because, whatever. But advocate for yourself. Like, this shit's going to be hard. It is. But we deserve it. We all deserve peace, love, and understanding. You know what I'm saying? And I ask people this all the time when I interview them, right? But I've never really thought about what that means to me, And I feel like peace is the ability to just, be still, right? And move through whatever you need to move through. And have peace of mind knowing that you put forth effort to make your situation better. And, you are bringing positive energy to rooms that you're in. You're leaving a positive impact. You know what I'm saying? When people think about you, they don't have negative feelings and negative thoughts. You know what I'm saying? You're existing in your space, but you're doing what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, love, that's pretty self-explanatory. And I understand it. I liken to grace. I mean, I feel like I take time to understand people's situations, you know? I feel like I put forth effort to make sure that I'm making people feel seen the way I want to be seen. And I hope that I put that out there when I interact with people. If I don't, let me know if I'm being a douchebag. We'll work on it. Give yourself grace. Extend it to those who are swept up in your transformation. Like I said, you can't just wake up in the morning and be like, it's a new me, bitch, and you know, deal with it. Like people kind of, you know, they have to adapt to it as well. So again, extend it to those who are swept up in your transformation, but think of it as courtesy grace. You get a small cup. It's enough to keep you from choking, but they got to figure out how to quench their own thirst. That's not your responsibility. We got to learn how to be okay with not being okay. Like life is life. You know what I'm saying? Life is life. Like you're not going to have roses coming out your ass every morning when you wake up, but it's about what you choose to do with that energy, you know? Like how are you navigating through that? That's part of the journey as well. I mean, at the end of the day, we all just flesh and bones with free will, you know? None of us asked to be here. We just woke up one day and we was born, you know? I don't know. But we're here and this is our reality. And I choose for my contribution to be positive, you know? And that's what I want to focus on. That's the purpose that I'm moving in. I want to be the best version of me that I can be for me and those in my orbit. And that's as simple as it can be. That's my motivation. That's my goal every day. And, you know, every day ain't gonna be perfect. I had a hell of a week last week and a even worse weekend. But, you know, I didn't kill anybody. I ain't really cuss nobody out. I sat in that weird space because I didn't want to, you know, spread it out. And it worked out. I moved on. I'm here. It's Tuesday. I'm talking to you, you know? But that's what needs to happen, you know? I need to learn how to move through those awkward spaces, that uncomfortable space, the hard times, and we got to learn to be okay with not being okay. Period. That's what it's like to be a human. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say. Next week, we will unpack a lot of those talking points and do more work in between, you know, this one and the next one. If you guys have any comments, something you want to add, something you want to expound on, you think I'm full of shit, whatever that is, you know, reach out, hit me up, let me know. If you are in Chicago and you have nothing to do, how about check out Sub T? It's a great place. I mean, the energy is wonderful. It's the longest running hip hop open mic.
25 years.
25 years. Very soon. Couple of weeks. Tuesday Therapy. Check it out. Again, I want to know what you think. You know, let me know. Trust Tree is here for everybody, so I'd like your input. You know, we can incorporate that in our discussions. I appreciate everybody who tuned in, everybody that will tune in after the broadcast is posted. I really, really appreciate the engagement. It was great spending time with y'all. Any of the magic people in the room got anything to say?
Good fucking show.
Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate your input. Appreciate your input. So, with the week ahead, let's go with positivity. Let's be accountable for our actions. Let's think about what we talked about and how we're going to apply that to moving forward and working toward achieving these goals. Fuck wait until January 1st. Let's do it now. In the words of Abard Barksdale, keep it light, but keep it. Until next week.